So you have options to store this macro in this or new workbook or personal macro workbook, right? So we obviously use macros within this workbook. However, you can change it according to your personal preference. You can open or you can start this macro by using a shortcut which you can create in the beginning. So option, command, and then any key of your choice. So for example, if I press B or N, and when I have saved my macro in this workbook, if I use option command N, it will basically trigger this macro to run. And then description, like whatever is the purpose of your code, you can basically type it in. Okay, let me remove this. Okay, and click OK. Okay, so the syntax of this name is incorrect. It starts with a letter or underscore, doesn't include space or characters, doesn't conflict with the existing name. So obviously we have spaces in between which we can change or substitute it with the underscore, and then click OK. Now what I'm going to do is I will take these 3 cells, okay, copy it, I open a new sheet and paste it and make the size bigger. Okay, and that's it. That's my whole exercise. So I click on this square button here, which is a macro is currently recording. Click to stop recording. So I do this. Okay, now I can go to Visual Basic, and you would see I have a new module which is called module 2. So I open it and close the module 1 editor, and what you would see is the entire code that Excel has written itself using the record feature, right? So let's understand how the code looks like. I'll just give you high level overview of the structure of the code and it's working, and that's it. Okay, so sub, copy and paste. So sub is sub procedure, copy and paste is the name of the sub procedure, and then after the name, let's try and make the size of this text a little bit bigger. So I'll go here in Excel, click on preferences, and then I have this editor format. I can click on this size and I can increase to 18 and click OK. I hope this would be visible. Okay, so let's go through the code after this parenthesis. Okay, so now let's go through the code again. So sub is sub procedure, copy and paste is the name of the sub procedure or the macro, and then you have parenthesis opening and closing, so that you understand this is the starting point of the macro. And then these are the comments, so that you understand that like if you want to give a definition or overview of this sub procedure explaining what it does, you can do it like this, right? And then range is what? A collection of cells, and then it gives a range B2 to B4, and then dot and select. Okay, let me explain this. So range is a function within VBA. It takes an argument which would be in double quotes the starting and the ending cell separated by a colon, which identifies it as a range. So anything which is from B2 to B4 will be chosen, and then dot is an operator within VBA which interacts with the object, which is this. So for context, anything that you would see in Excel is an object. A cell, a column, a row, entire workbook, entire worksheet, everything is an object. An object has two features. So one is property and one is value. Okay, property is for example, if you select a cell, the properties of the cell would be whether the font size is 10 or 20, what is the color of the cell, what is the color of the text within the cell, and so on. So those kind of things are properties of an object, and the other one is value. So what kind of value that cell holds. Obviously for all the objects the value component might not be there, right? So for example, workbook, what is the value of the workbook? You can argue that the name of the workbook would be the value, but we can debate about it, right? So select is a property of this range, so that means what I'm doing is I'm selecting this range, right? And then whatever selection I have done in the above step or the or any selected range, okay, I can use it as a selection. So this is a keyword which identifies anything which is selected, okay, as selection. And then we invoke the copy property, so we can copy whatever is available in this range. And what I do now is I invoke sheets object, and then I add it. I add a new sheet, and there is a sub property. That means I have another parameter to this. Where do I want the sheet? Which it would be after the current active sheet, right? So after the active sheet, so it is on the right hand side, right? I can also say before and move on, right? Whatever active sheet is, it will paste the data there. Okay, now remember, there are a couple of things that you would notice here. I have selected or I have pasted the data in the active sheet. However, I have not defined exactly where do I paste the data in the active sheet. Generally, when you add a sheet, your cursor goes to the first cell, which is A1. However, if you do not think about these things, you might make a mistake, because everything that you do in any programming language, it has to be well defined, right? uh, Given this, we also have done a mistake here, not us particularly, because we have recorded the macro, but this is where the editing skills will come, right? We have said that we will select the range which is b2 to b4. However, we have not defined exactly on what sheet, right? And for that matter, in which workbook, because you can also switch workbooks, right? And then whatever active window we have, it will zoom by zoom to 110, 20 and so on, which we did a lot of times because we zoomed into the Excel sheet. And that's it, right? And this is the end of the sub procedure. Now the code looks rather small and easy. However, make the most smallest unit of that task that you're doing, only then you will be able to write very reliable code that can be used for many years to come, right? Without any changes required. Okay, so now that we know the setup, let's start with some basics so that you understand exactly what all the things you can use within a program or macro. So this is a list of all the majorly available data types with their description and example values. Since I'm assuming that you guys are coming from some sort of background where you have learned about some sort of data. However, if you have not, it's still very easy, right? So why do we use data types? Because we want to store some specific values. If it is number, it has to be numbers throughout. If it is a larger number, it has to be larger number throughout. It can still hold smaller